أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين وصلى الله على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
أما بعد فقد قال الإمام الصادق عليه الصلاة والسلام: من أحب عمل قوم أشرك معهم ومن أحب حجرا حشر معه. صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
I think people are coming in one by one, so if they're gonna just come in and recite a salawat. In Surah Mubarak Yunus, verses 10 to 16, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, قُلْ لَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا تَلَوْتُهُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَلَا أَدْرَاكُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ لَبِثْتُ فِيكُمْ عُمَرًا مِّنْ قَبْلِهِ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. We have been pursuing a topic last few nights. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. These majalis are like streams of wisdom and knowledge that all of us benefit, including myself.
Alhamdulillah.
And today I want to discuss something a little bit not really in sequence of our previous discussions, but in reference to some of the things I was talking about during the speeches. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, say, O Messenger, if Allah willed, if Allah wanted, I would not have recited this Quran for you. If Allah had not willed, I would not have recited this Quran. وَلَا أَدْرَاكُمْ بِهِ, nor would I have given you the knowledge of it. فَقَدْ لَبِثْتُ فِيكُمْ عُمَرًا مِّن قَبْلِهِ, because surely I have lived amongst you a long time. 40 years the Prophet lived with the people. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. So, why don't you ponder? The life of Prophet from the birth till the age of 40 and a little after, because the da'wah which was openly given to the people, the call that was publicly made and announced, the call of Islam and the Quran, the public announcement came after 3 years almost, from the first revelation, 2 to 3 years after that. In these 3 years, only a select group of people very secretly learned about revelation, who were trusted and who very carefully came and listened to the wahi and to the message of the ta'aleem of Quran. So you have seen me all these years, and you know about me. From my past you can understand if this is from me or from God. This is true if I have, what kind of life I have lived with you. Was I a magician? Was I a majnoon, crazy person? Was I someone who was learning from someone else that I could have written myself? Or that person could have taught me that I could have passed on to you? Was I a person who was known for dishonesty, right, or lying, person who had a person of questionable character, for example? It's all right before your eyes. Why don't you think? So this reference to the past in Quran is frequent. You know my past. What about my present and future? You know the past condition of nations. What do you say about that? Past is a very important reference for the future and present. For the truth of something, past is a reference. The current state of a people is also in relation to the past. What they think and how they evaluate and how they, take sides on the issues that were in the past. So current position and stance of people regarding the past events, it brings them in line with the early people who had similar responses, right, to the situation in their times. If you are following this, please recite salawat. Imam Sadiq al-Islam said, "Man ahabba amala qawmin," a person who loves the actions of a certain group of people is included in those people. And to the extent that man ahabba hajaran hujaran ma'ahu, if a person loves a stone, he will be resurrected with that stone on the day of judgment. Your love and hate or grudge, dislike of something determines who you will be with. In this life today, as well as in hereafter, when you will be brought up again, you will be placed in the group of people who had similar inclinations, similar likes, similar allegiance, right? Similar affiliations. People are grouped together based on their rida and sahat, as in the hadith. People on the day of judgment will be, and in this dunya, they are grouped together, right, based on who they love and who they dislike. So that means what they love, which is mostly in the past, people they admire. Today you read world history, today you read different sciences, literature, other things, you admire certain people of the past. So be careful who you associate with. Not physically, intellectually and emotionally you associate with people in the past, centuries ago. Your condition will be exactly the same as their condition if you have affiliation or, some sort of agreement with the ideas and views of those people. So it is very important, you see. We have many instances of the Holy Quran. Now this discussion is important because why we are so concerned with history. Generally, if you talk to any Americans, then I've had a lot of these experiences, and obviously we whether Shia or Sunni, we talk about past. Now they have their own version of it, we have our own version. We have a more detailed and, authentic and more objective version of history. But they also talk about everybody, all Muslims. And the Americans are very surprised a lot of the time. You guys know so much about history? You guys talk about history all the time. We don't know more than 200 years ago, not even 100 years ago. Many people here don't even know that this country, for example, how it was occupied. Or what was the history back in Europe, right? Or what was the interaction between the Europeans and the Arabs or Muslims or whatever? How sciences began, where they began, what was the problem, who were the main contributors to science, which they cherish so much today? How much of it has actually just been taken from other places, right? And the same applies to the economy. How much of that the money has been looted from other countries and stock exchange has been built out of all the money that has been brought from other parts of the world. And the wars that have been imposed on other countries. But that's another issue. But past is very important. In Surah Shu'ara, regarding the Qawm Thamud and Salih, right? فَعَقَرُوهَا فَأَصْبَحُوا نَادِمِينَ. They killed the camel. They cut the legs of the camel, which was actually a she camel that Prophet Salih created by the izn of Allah from a mountain. Stones turned into a camel. I mentioned earlier, you probably know already. Quran is saying, فَعَقَرُوهَا. They killed him. They killed the camel. فَأَصْبَحُوا. Then they all became nadim, sorry for what they did. Now sorry, means that they saw now azab is coming. No, the sorry, no use of this kind of sorry. For example, being sorry after beheading Imam Hussain, what good does it do? Now you have to deal with it now, the consequences. You're not going to walk away from it. There's no way you can walk away from it. Anybody can walk away from killing a prophet, for example. Especially killing Abu Abdullah Hussain. No one can walk away from such a thing, right? You can say sorry or go and, like, we have some things like that. This person who was in one of the ashab mentioned that, Rawi actually mentioned that a person I saw holding the ghilaf of Kaaba and crying like a baby. And both hands were cut and his face was dark. Dark means that very badnuma, evil kind of. And so and I ignored him, walked around, and then I noticed that a lot of people had gathered around this guy, trying to figure out what is going on. He was crying like, "Oh Allah, forgive me, and I know that you will not forgive me." Turned out that this was the guy who took the clothes from the body of Imam Hussain. Because the dress Imam Hussain was wearing, he saw it back somewhere in Medina, and he liked that dress. He was chasing Imam Hussain, thinking that one day if I could have this same dress. Can you imagine this? Imam Hussain probably made a dua against this person, and he was inflicted with this disease in his body. So we have seen all of that in history. Please say the salawat. فَأَقَرُ إِنَّمَا يَجْمَعُ النَّاسِ الرِّضَى وَالسَّخَطِ. Imam alayhi salam says, from Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, what unites the people is their common view on certain things. What unites people is not their ethnicity or race. Iranians and Pakistanis are not united by race. And race therefore is not important in the eyes of Allah at all. Actually, it can be a lot of problem for a person. Because a lot of prejudice and bias and hate, which Imam Ali talks about the most in Nahjul Balagha and Quran talks about it, is asabiyatul jahiliyyah. No difference of asabiyatul jahiliyyah between the past and the present. The same thing. One considers my race as such. Who cares? What difference? What brings people, make them similar or dissimilar is their opinions on the issues. How they respond to situations, how they analyze situations, their role models, for example, their agreement with certain facts of history. People in countries like Mu'mineen, for example, or Shia around the world, they have the same opinion about the tragedy of Karbala. Therefore, they are all united under the flag of Abu Abdullah al-Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. And others from different backgrounds and ethnicities and languages and color of skin or whatever be the case are also united in a similar way because they agree that Imam Hussain alayhi salam should not have raised his voice against Yazid. That he should not have gone there. And then they put the blame sometimes on Imam Hussain alayhi salam. If they cannot, to be politically correct, they put the blame on Shia, or they put the blame on those who invited, right? Imam Hussain. And sometimes on just the confusion that people came, killed Imam Hussain, they didn't know who they were killing. 30,000 people, 50,000 people come together, they kill and they don't even know who they're fighting with. So obviously the issue is very clear. Since they have essentially they have a problem with Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, right? And they have sympathies, they are affiliated today with the enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. That's why you hear this coming from them. Different things that come from them. That the root of this is their unity on the books of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Recite salawat. Imam Ali is saying, إِنَّمَا عَقَرَ نَاقَةَ ثَمُودَ رَجُلٌ وَاحِدٌ. Only one man killed the camel of Salih alayhi salam. It was one man who took a sword or something and chopped the legs of the camel. That's it. But Quran says, وَعَقَرُوهَا. They killed him. They killed the camel. They hurt the camel. فَعَمَّمَ اللَّهُ بِالْعَذَابِ لَمَّا عَمُّوهُ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the adab on all of them because they all agreed with what that one man did to the camel. لَمَّا عَمُّوهُ بِالرِّضَى. They were all in agreement, you know. Now some people agree in one way, some in another way. Some people say, yeah, he should have killed. Some people say, shouldn't have killed, but now it's done, you know. You don't want to object. It's the same thing. So Muharram comes, you raise your voice, go outside and scream and cry and beat yourself and make a big deal out of it. That means you really disagree with what Umar ibn Sa'ad and Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad and these people do. They strongly disagree, you know, to condemn it. And you are just as much in love with the mission of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, so it will come out that way. Only that is acceptable in the eyes of Allah. Anything less than that is nothing. Nothing. It just makes this person, puts this person on the other's camp, in the other camp. The camp of all those people who remain silent while Imam Hussain ﷺ was surrounded by all these forces and killed him on this day. And this is in many other places in the Holy Quran. But I mentioned a hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. He says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, قُلْ قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رُسُلٌ مِّنْ قَبْلِي بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. Say, O Messenger, that before me many prophets have come to you and brought clear signs for you. وَبِالَّذِي قُلْتُمْ. And they also brought things that you asked for. Like people asked for things, they said, okay. Like Samud asked for the miracle, Prophet Saleh brought that miracle for them. Right? وَبِالَّذِي قُلْتُمْ فَلِمَ قَتَلْتُمُوهُمْ. Quran is asking the Bani Israel, the Jewish people living in Arabia and those who were, you know, in contact with Muslims around Medina, right? Quran is asking Rasulullah to ask them, why did you kill the prophets? Well, قال وقد علم أن هؤلاء لم يقتلوا. Rasulullah said to them, why did you kill the prophets? When were the prophets killed? Were they killed in the time of Rasulullah?
No.
How far back in time were they killed? 1,000 years before that. 2,000 years before that. Right? Imam Sadiq is saying, وَقَدْ عَلِمَ أَنَّ هَؤُلَاءِ لَمْ يَقْتُلُوا. Allah knows and the Prophet knows that they are these people who are these Jewish people who were living around Medina, they did not physically kill any prophet with their hands. They did not kill, did not stab, they did not kill any prophet in any way, right? وَلَكِنْ كَانَ هَوَاهُمْ مَعَ الَّذِينَ قَتَلُوا. But their sympathies were with those who killed the prophets. For example, they say, we are the chosen race of God. We say we today and yesterday. That means all of us are chosen. That means our actions are what should have been done. They approve of the action. When they approve of the actions of people who lived 2,000 years ago, they are included in those people. And the adab, the blame that goes to them will go to these people as well, right? Salawat. فَسَمَّاهُمُ اللَّهُ قَاتِلِينَ. Allah is calling them murderers. These people who, after 70 generations, 50 generations, are living in the time of Rasulullah, Allah has called them سَمَّاهُمُ اللَّهُ قَاتِلِينَ بِمُتَابَعَةِ هَوَاهُمْ, because they follow the views and opinions and desires of those people who lived 2,000 years ago. هَوَاهُمْ وَرِضَاهُمْ لِذَلِكَ الْفِعْلِ. And their satisfaction, their approval with that action, killing a prophet. And we know in history that in one day they killed 70 prophets in the morning, and they went about their business, opened their shops and were doing business, buying and selling as if nothing happened. In one day, Bani Israel killed 70 prophets, and they came, opened their shops and went about their business as usual. And now they think that we are the chosen people of God. And used to think the same way. And today they think the same way. This is one reason why it is very important to study history the way it really was, very carefully. The way history is presented in Quran, not the way it is presented in the history books today. Talk about Roman Empire and Genghis Khan and whatever. No, no, no. That's a very, very distorted form of history where the villains have turned into heroes. How? Because they say whoever wins was a hero. We don't care, right, wrong. Whoever was winner was the hero. That's not the case. One more point I'll mention. Another very important reason why we have to always look back in history, very carefully study history with our mind and with our heart. Always use the moral compass that Allah has put in the conscience, the moral compass that Allah has put in ourselves to weigh the actions of people, weigh the words and opinions of people, right? And show where hearts, where are they going? What are we, where are our sympathies? Who do we like? Who do we love? Who do we dislike? Right? It's very important to show that. Why? Because there is a principle in Islam, in all over the place, Quran, Hadith, everywhere, which is, as we know it, Al-Amru bil Ma'ruf wal Nahi anil Munkar. And it has three levels. The first level is in the heart, the second level is the tongue, and the third one is the hands, action. And when it begins from the heart, it means that you have to like something or dislike something. So that's the Amr al-Maruf of the heart. When your heart, it likes something, you feel the love of, for example, you read a person, new person, who doesn't have any background in Islam, and he learns a little bit about Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and he feels his eyes are watering, What's going on? What's going on? Or he hears listens to one of the, or reads the sermon of Imam Ali, or one of the quotes, one of the sayings of Imam Ali alayhi salam. His heart is like going there, naturally leaning into that, and he sees what's going on. This is Amr bil Ma'ruf. His heart is telling him, do this, go after this. This Amr happening inside, command happening inside, being generated. That's the foundation. That's where it all begins. It's like a car that is sitting there. You started. The car engine just started. Now for speaking about it or acting upon it, you need basirat and knowledge. It's not enough to just like something. A lot of people, they just like something, end up doing the wrong thing because they didn't educate themselves. Now, as long as you like something, fine, now pursue it. Pursue it. Don't stop there and say, well, I love Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. I'll come every year and show my love to Imam Hussain. Your rest of the 365 or 74 days will tell whether you are following Imam Hussain alayhi salam or it's just a false claim. Because a lot of times, it's like an engine, it needs a driver. The car is started, okay, engine is running, what do? If you don't know the direction, you end up in the wrong place. You go the wrong direction, fall off a cliff. It's very possible. It's not enough to love somebody. Very important to know, and this, I have to say this, just a few more minutes. I know I'm taking a lot of time and many of you are hungry, but it's for Imam Hussain alayhi salam. All of it, inshallah. Something about this tragedy of Karbala that all of us should be, careful. Three things, 3 points about this tragedy of Karbala that, anytime you have a commemoration or a procession or you're reading about it or, someone is talking to you about it, there are 3 things you have to be careful about. There are 3 things in the content of Karbala. 3 things about this Qiyam of Abi Abdullah. One is his message. What did he actually say? That's very important. Because the evidence is about someone, he was doing what did he actually say? Like for example, a person thinks he doesn't like me. Did he actually tell you that? Evidence is when somebody speaks, right? Speaks. تَكَلَّمُوا تُعْرَفُوا. A person is known by his speech. What did he say? So therefore, every mu'min, every Shia has to read all the sermons of Imam Hussein. And he was speaking constantly from Medina all the way to the last moment. He was speaking. Carefully read what he said. Before forming any opinions about Karbala, educate yourself. What he actually stood for, why, how he responded to people who raised similar questions as people are asking today. All of those areas have been touched. That's one. Two, the shuja'at and courage of Imam Hussein and his companions. Very important. There are people who miss this section, who ignore this. They think Imam Hussein was like a victim of circumstances. Some people cry on Imam Hussein like he was killed in an accident. Or he was, like a person who did not have the power to respond to something. He was just at the receiving end of whatever was going on, and he could do nothing about it, nor did he plan what to do about it. And this is absolutely wrong. First of all, the courage of Imam Hussein, starting from Medina, he took the main road, main highway to Makkah. Abdullah ibn Zubair ran into the mountains to, escape from being seen. Imam Hussein took the main road. He said, this is... Read his statements. In Makkah, speaking publicly, meeting everybody. Everything is known. When he left, people asked, why did you leave? One day before Hajj, he says, because I would be killed in the house of Allah. Everything is clear, open. His stance was very courageous, very open and bold, very bold. And the same, we just want to summarize in the battle that took only one day, right? There was a strategy. The way camps was set up between the hills, right? Everything, there was one side was the river, the fire that was burnt lighted behind the tents, the way tents were set up, the way he divided his army, who he appointed as the flag bearer of the army. Many believe Hazrat Abbas, when he moved towards the riverside, his just appearance, caused such a haibat in the army that they pulled back, all of them. Who Imam Hussein chooses as a flag bearer, Alamdar of his army. One person. These are things that you take into account when you plan a battle like that. Lot of things. Everything has to be very carefully, and the fact that he fought, every one of them fought, and they were so scared of everyone coming out of the camp, although they took their time, they wanted to inflict as much pain on Imam Hussein as possible, but the reality of the fact that how much courage was being shown by people who know that they will all be killed. Unbelievable. Imam Hussein till the last moments when he was surrounded, some who wanted to kill him, finish him off, they came and saw his beautiful face. He said, I've never seen a person wounded, bleeding all his body, with such a beautiful face. Such an attractive face. And they were so consumed by this beauty of this face that they didn't know what, they forgot about the idea that they had come to actually kill him. Imam Hussein, on many occasions, the way his own companions would see, some of them were amazed by how fresh his face was looking. As if he's not surrounded by enemies, as if he's standing in front of, for example, paradise, or something like where he see a lot of beauty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala coming his way. How is that? What would be the condition of the heart of a person who has this kind of attitude that people see in him? Where is shuja'at? What is shuja'at? Shuja'at is not the skill of fighting. Courage is not the way you fight. Courage is that you have no fear in your heart from anyone. In fact, the sounds of the swords and the spears and the arrows and all these chants and everything, insults of people, are like music to your ear. You find a lot of beauty in it. So you see, this shuja'at must translate into our, love and admiration of these qualities in the Shuhada of Karbala, right? Very important. And that's what will encourage us to act upon. Because it will give, you have a brave person as a hero, you become brave too. And if you see a person as a victim or weak person, you become weak. So you take Imam Hussain alayhi salam as a hero, as a role model, as a brave hero, and every companion of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and women and children, you do not hear and search through all the books of history, you do not see any, anything, any doubts, even after the tragedy of Karbala, in any of the children of the caravan of Abi Abdullah. Expressed no doubts about it. Why did we go to Karbala? Why did we get killed? Why did my father die? No whys about it. Everybody was convinced and sure about it, from the little child to all the way up to everybody else, women, and their lives were in danger. Nobody had any second opinion about what happened. This is shuja'at. No fear. No fear in the heart of Imam Hussain, no fear in the heart of his companions, nor his family, nor even his children in the caravan. Nobody complained to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh why? There are many accounts of history, you don't find any of it anywhere. Of course, the third aspect is Mazlumiyat of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Right? So the heart, right? The heart of a person who loves Imam Hussain alayhi salam feels the courage of Imam, and at the same time the Mazlumiyat of Imam, because this takes away every excuse from the enemy. Takes away every excuse, and it gives every excuse to Imam Hussain alayhi salam to have gone there and to have refused the bay'at of those people, because they say, these are the kind of people. What if they had continued their rule on the Muslims, and Imam Hussain had not raised his voice? What they would have done to Islam and Quran? This Muslim Imam Hussain is a hujjat for us. It touches the heart, it convinces you. This creates in you all the values for which Imam Hussain alayhi salam he stood up, right? All those values. This is the day of Ashura. I should not be taking this much time from all of you. This is just your love for Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And everybody is sitting, on the Farsi, this is Sare Sufre, Imam Hussain Nishasti. We are just sitting here, maybe we'll find something, Kuch na kuch mil hi jayega yaar se. Imam Hussain alayhi salam. But at this time, what was going on in Karbala? Just for a moment, reflect and think, and try to take your heart over there. What is happening at this time? It's the time of Asr. After Sayyid al-Shuhada took Ali Asghar, and Ali Asghar was killed, he buried him. No, Ali Asghar's throat has been slit, right? Imam Hussain buried him. Now he has no one left. Ya Zainab, Ya Kulthum, Ya Fidda, Ya Sukaina, Ya Rabab, Ya Layla, alaykunna minni salam. My last salam upon you, Wida. Zainab stops him, wait brother. And she comes and kisses his neck, under his chin. And she says, when my mother was dying, he told me the last time, when Hussein comes to the camp, kiss him at the place that he will be beheaded. Imam Hussain is trying to say goodbye to everyone. Now his children are coming, holding him from all sides. Do not go to the battlefield. Whoever has gone out has not come back. Father, who are you leaving us? Leaving us to Sukaina. Ruqayya came and asked, Father, if you go away, who are you leaving us with? There is no safety for us here. A 3-year-old girl is asking her father, there is no safe, I don't feel safe here. You are leaving me to whom? And when Imam Hussain alayhi salam hears her, request or her question, he doesn't know what to say. So he said, if I had a choice, I would have done that. And she said, Ruddana ila haram jaddina. He says, take us back to the haram of our grandfather in Medina. لو ترك القطا لنا لو ترك القطا ليلا لنا. I'm saying, if it was possible for me, I would have done that. I would have taken you back. Imam gives the advice of sabr to Zainab, to everyone. He said, Allah will be your guardian. Do not complain to Allah for what happened. Then he comes out. He's standing by his horse, looking right and left. Zainab understood what is going on. He's waiting for Abbas. Imam Hussain is waiting for Abbas or Ali Akbar to come and help him get on the horse. So Zainab comes out and says, don't worry, brother. And then she says, is there any sister who would help her brother go away and get killed? Now Imam Hussain is on his horse and he's looking at the battlefield right and left. فَنَظَرَ يَمِينًا وَشِمَالًا. He says, oh, where are you, Ali Akbar? Where are you, Abbas? See your brother fighting. Ali Akbar, see your father fighting. With the Zulfiqar, with Amama of Rasul on his head, with the dress of Rasulullah on his body. And he had worn a shirt inside which he had torn himself so that no one will be interested in taking it from his body. Because he knew that everything will be taken from him. After a long fight, now he came close to the river, but they chanted that your family is in danger. What are you doing to the river, at the river? And Imam Hussain came back to the camp. Every once in a while he would come back, stand in the middle of the battlefield so that his family can see him. He was constantly being attacked, And one person came and hit him with a spear on his side, on his left side. So he fell on the right side. And he was saying, Bismillah wa billah wa ala millati Rasulullah. As he was coming down from his horse, Zainab was saying, seeing this from the camp, he just came up above Tal Zainab, she saw, and he said, like the sama, I wonder why the sky has not fallen on the earth. The falling of Hussein from his horse, should bring together the azab from Allah. So the sky should fall upon the earth. Imam Hussain tried to get up, but they hit him with swords and different things. Imam is very injured. The spear the arrow that came into his heart, Imam Hussain tried to pull it from the back of his body. One last time he's put his head on the sajda. And he remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he saw that Shimr is coming. Now Sinan ibn Anas came and others, but then Shimr came. Because no one else would dare come and behead Imam Hussain. So Shimr came and sat on Imam Hussein's chest and held his beard in his hand. But Imam had a smile on his face. He said, do you know who I am? And he said, yes, you are Hussein, son of Fatima, daughter of Rasul. And I know that this action I will be held accountable by Rasulullah and your father and your mother and Allah on the day of judgment. But I will kill you bughzan li abik, because I have so much hate for your father. And because I follow the orders of Yazid, I have to kill you. I will kill you. People like Shimr, if they came to this world 1,000 times, they will end up doing the same thing. And then Imam Hussain said, my grandfather was right. He told me about your appearance, the marks on your face, that it could only be you killing me. He got so infuriated, he turned Imam Hussain on his belly, and from the back of his neck he started slaughtering Imam Hussain. But at the last time, when Imam Hussain saw some of his soldiers moving towards the camp, he looked at Zainab, go back to the tent, go back inside. And he said, why are you moving towards my family? Your fight is with me, your problem is with me, why are you coming to my family? If you do not have Iman in Akhirat, be free men in this world. And then the winds became red. And the earth began shaking. And there was the downpour, there was a rain of blood coming from the sky. And Imam Sajjad looked outside and the head of his father was on the land. Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. The women at the other tents, they see the Zuljanah coming back to the tent. Az-Zalima, Az-Zalima. What an oppression has been done. This ummah has killed the wasi of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ala la'natullah wa al-qawm al-zalimin. Saya'lamu alladhina zalamu wa yamkharun. Allahumma ajil li waliyika. Allahumma ajil li waliyika. Allahumma ajil li waliyika.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.